We're going to make 1 million per month in 20 minutes because that's what all the YouTube videos have told me. I'm pretty new to n8n, and actually I do have to give like a workshop about it this week. So I figured maybe I should figure out how n8n works. I've dabbled a little bit into it with it, so it's not that bad. But what we're going to do is indeed just like take YouTube videos and kind of go through them. I've got a couple of ChatGPT courses, ChatGPT deep research courses that I've been doing. So we'll be looking at all of those. All right, so here we go. And I'll show you what I did actually is like I went through YouTube, and what's pretty interesting, the first time I heard kind of n8n in the context of AI was actually last year in San Francisco at the AI Engineering World Fair, which is next week, where you can meet me if you're coming. And at that point, this was like shortly after Claude Sonnet 3.5 was announced. Something like that, 3. And I tried generating JSON for n8n because I was playing around, and I was playing around with DSLs, and that kind of didn't work. But the funny thing is that people now are leveraging like Claude Opus to do that, and that seems to be working way better. So that's actually what I'm going to start with. Like maybe I don't even need to learn n8n. I could just use Opus to do it. So what I did here is I went to AI Studio, and I kind of like pasted this video. I don't know if this is the other one video. This is the one we're looking at on the left. Took this video, said transcribe, outline, and make a course out of it. Because I like tutorials. Like I don't like thinking about what I should do. I like having something tell me, right? All right, so let's take a look at this, right? Like I think I have n8n installed somewhere where I have a Docker. That's right. Like last week I built like a whole CLI for the API because I wanted to do, I don't even remember what I wanted to do. I kind of interact with it. I don't remember, man. Anyway, I did have like at least a Docker Compose in here. I've played with a little few things. I don't have a Docker Compose, so that's interesting. Where did I put this Docker Compose? I'm sure I had one though. So we're going to do Docker Compose, and we're just going to look at which directories I filled this out in. So there's GoGo Labs n8n. So I guess that's where we are. There we go. Can't recommend enough having like a nice little shell history tool. I think mine is called History, but there's ATUIN, which I think is much more advanced. Synchronizes across repos, has many more, I think, contributors and stuff. But like I started actually building my own. This was before LLMs. And then kind of like put that aside, and I found History. I was like, oh, that's actually what I want to make. And then that's what it was actually very, very similar in my design. Like I did put a fair amount of work into the design and how to build it out. But without LLMs, it was like easy to make up features and then much harder to build them. And it looks like they have a fair amount of commits and all of that. This is pretty awesome. One day I'll probably switch, right? Anyway, we're already getting distracted. So if I look at, I'm going to close some of my other Docker Compose because I don't need that. So we're going to do Docker Compose up. It's going to start our n8n, which I think uses just like a Postgres database to store its stuff. And, oh, interestingly, it has like a grok URL. Interesting. But you can access it on, I'm going to move this to workspace 9. Going to go back to workspace 7, go to Firefox, and I think it's localhost 4567. No? Where was the port that it told me? 5678. Okay. 5678. And I think I created a real password for this actually. n8n localhost autofill. All right, there we go. So n8n, for those who don't know, is like kind of like a node-based programming environment that's been around for quite a while. But of course, with AI, decided, of course, to add like a lot of AI features. A lot of people are using it because it has like a shit ton of integrations. And, you know, like I like building everything myself. And every time I ask myself, like, shouldn't you just like use off-the-shelf stuff, and like they are supported. You don't need to build everything yourself and then leave it on the side. So it's really hard for me, and this is kind of like a good push for me to actually put some, well, just like try out other stuff and then see that I'm like actually not that clever and maybe shouldn't be doing this all the time to try to build everything on my own. So what we're going to do is we have a transcript here of what this dude is saying, and then I also asked it to give me like screenshots out of this. So, or like describe screenshots, and then it told it to make myself a course. And then, so the interesting thing here, and I've never really played around with AI Studio for looking at videos, so I have no idea if these screenshots actually make sense, which is another technique that I really wanted to get into, right? Is like playing a little bit more with the Gemini stuff, which I've really kind of not looked at all too much. Man, there's like a lot of people jumping on this. So we're going to look at least at the screenshots over here. We have the JSON generation from 03 to 06. Okay. Claude AI interface, Mac OS 10 Finder. Is that true at like second 10? Yeah, man, this is crazy. Imported canvas, first look. Then we have the Anthropic blog post at 057. Okay. Man, this is crazy. Agent stack web form. So what I'm going to ask is like, give me a FFmpeg shell script that actually exports these screenshots at a given timestamps and stores them in a properly semantically named file. Because what we're going to do is we're just going to download this. I'm going to go into temp. Actually, we're going to go into, no, we're not going to put a video in there. Maybe I should put it into movies, YouTube, n8n, and then gonna download that video, and then I'm curious to see if it like will properly make like a little shell script telling me all of this. Then I asked it at the end to make myself like to give myself like a step-by-step just like thing to follow the video, because I hate watching videos. I don't hate watching videos, but doing that on stream, not the most interesting. 4.48, for example, ChatGPT interface. So yeah, we are in ChatGPT, right? And then it says, description outputs a well-structured, detailed prompt specifically for Claude to create the Gmail summarizer. It uses Markdown and all the necessary features. The prompt framework PDF is probably something where I'll have to like download it and sign up for some garbage. So we'll see. Let's see where the shell script is. All right, this is exactly what I was kind of expecting in the shape of a shell script. How do I copy paste this? All right, copy paste this, chmod nx8, and then the n8n Claude tutorial. Okay, so extract claude.sh. I can't like download this again with error 3 forbidden. Okay. Interesting. Do I need a new version of YouTube download DLP, or updating YTDLP? So I don't know where I got it from. I don't think it's Oh, it is from... Yeah, so this is not going to be great if it's the Debian version. All right, how do we download this from source? I'm sure I did this already. Like, do I have another one that's hidden? No. Installation, platform independent, alternative, YTDLP, Linux. Man, this is like, it wouldn't hurt you to just like put this on the main page, right? And then it gives you, it gets you back to all right. YTDLP, so let's try again. Actually, I should turn on some light here as well. I love tangents. Like, we're not really making progress on the n8n, are we? But that's how I operate. So we are going to get the screenshots just because that's something I always wanted to do. But now we're going to get into the step-by-step guides here. So goal, replicate the video's process of using Claude AI. The more context you give the AI about n8n, the better the generated workflows will be. In Claude, create a new project, give it a relative name, n8n. All right, but then I'm going to need to have these like compiled n8n docs, right? Which I wonder how we can get those. So we're going to create a new project. Can we do that? Project, new project, n8n. And then we're going to go to the docs n8n.io. Do we have those as LLMs txt? Did someone already do that? Nope. Explore integration. n8n docs. Quick starts. Explore advanced AI. What I'm curious about is like, is this stuff on GitHub? Is this something in a node types, explore, n8n documentation PDF? Is this something that is easily scraped? What does this guy get? Can I download the docx and PDF somewhere? This is burning tokens, isn't it? So provide n8n documentation to Claude. This is going to be the main part, right? I just grab the key concepts and node overview sections, update this, set projects instruction system prompt in Claude, prompt set projects instructions. You are a blah, 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 blah. This is interesting. Like, where did it get that from? Also interesting. So project knowledge, set the project. Do we have like project settings, edit project detail? No. Do we have like a system prompt, set project instructions? Ask Flop for a prompt framework. So this is an interesting part that we can do in the console maybe. Because I really like the prompt optimizer that they have in there. No tools defined, Cloud Sonnet 4. All right, define a role, n8n expert, generate a prompt, prompt for generating n8n projects, workflows, best possible output as JSON. So the Stride framework, interesting. this prompt will be used with models that have thinking enabled. Yes, I do think so. All right, so it's starting. Project description, desired workflow feature. I don't think we need that. And then I wonder if we use, because this is going to be this like crazy thinking model, right? So I wonder if we use this and we go to Claude straight up, right? And we paste this, and then we say project description, create a simple chatbot that has a web search tool and can, yeah, and stores the, no, we're going to start simple. So let's see what it does. I don't think I enabled the thinking, did I? No, I did. Okay, cool. And then we'll try it with Opus as well. In the meantime, this has probably answered by now. So unfortunately, it can directly provide you their videos creators' personal files. It's their curated version. Claude's output into a Google Doc. Okay, so that's just their prompt. The n8n documentation itself is copyrighted by n8n. While you can access it publicly, redistributing a compiled version might have implications. All right, so this is, I'm going to use O3 for this because O3 is my little buddy. How to scrape all the docs for local reference as markdown if possible. I wonder if I'm going to get flagged for saying scrape. I hope not. Like, this would be kind of ridiculous. So I did create a workflow, and I think this is like kind of the flow that they use. Oh, I remember why I did all the n8n stuff is like I wanted to have a, yeah, right. I already did the million, so you come too late. I'm sorry. Already cashed out. You missed it. Like, you'll have to look. You'll have to see it on YouTube in a recap. As Ray is asking me that he wants a refund. It's too bad because we already all made 1 million. All right. Now I remember why I did all the n8n CLI is because I actually wanted to turn this into an MCP, and I actually built this super cool feature the other day, which allows me to just like quickly add MCP support to any kind of tool. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to create an MCP server for n8n, and then we can like kind of import the workflow, hopefully. All right, we're going to open the, I kind of don't want to put all my MCP tools in there, but that's where the documentation lives. And I'm not sure yet that I really want to like cross link projects and M code, because that's like a good way to have it get really confused. So we'll see. Holy shit, I have like 3 cursors. So by the way, really fucking weird is like the other day, well, yesterday actually, M code was doing all kinds of weird stuff, right? So I'm going to quit cursor and just like going to see if that's still the same thing. No, so this time it quit properly, but I had like cursors all the way back from 047 running in the background, and they would actually format files and overwrite each other's files. So what happened is like M code thought it was like properly editing a file, and then it would get like overwritten and it would get really confused. And that's probably a lot of the issues that I had last week. Was just like it was actually just like getting completely confused itself, and I was getting confused too, because I was like, why are you not having this function that you actually designed? And then all these kinds of like little little issues that I had seems to have been mostly because there were some ghost cursors, and I think this is interesting in the bigger scheme. In that, did I just delete my whole folder? No, I didn't. And maybe there's something to be done on the edit file tool in M code or in agents in general, that they kind of like cross-check that things did actually get applied a while further, right? Because otherwise, so that's interesting. Like, I think building my own little edit file tool that does a lot of cool stuff would be a really funny exercise. And we'll do that another day now. So let me see. I am going to go to GoGo MCP, and I added a shit ton of stuff yesterday, and I don't know if I should merge it. Merge it and release it. What is the difference here with main? So already my local main is very different from the origin main. But then this was all, yeah, so I'm going to just go to main. I'm going to reset this hard to origin main. Just reset it. So what are the differences that we have here? Yeah, this is actually good, isn't it? More embeddable documentation. I'm getting on a tangent, right? Like I'm building an n8n MCP. Why am I like that? Because I want to save like a fucking single copy paste. Like this is crazy. So what is broken here? Go mod tidy. Make lint. No package called JS server. And where? And find comment experiments. Is that what it is? Let me see if those are actually committed. Git co experiments JS server. Yeah, so we're going to xargs echo. Okay, so we're gonna xargs rm, which is always like a fun thing to do. And so now if I switch back, all right, and so if I go switch to main, now I have a good lint. If I make test, everything tests. So I'm going to push this to origin, and this time it will work. Get used to the command line, man. It's people, it's I hate it. I hate bash, and also I just can't live without it. And I learned all these like little tricks. Also, I really should update my bash ZSH setup I have. I feel like I'm an old person, which I guess I am now in this industry. We pushed it, and now I'm going to release it because I do need to import it from somewhere else. So hopefully with M code and all the Sonnet 4 goodness, this will like just like do it all at once, which would be like pretty amazing. I'm actually pretty sure that I will be able to do it. So we're going to go to labs, and actually I'm going to do this old other technique that I have, which is I'm just going to Symlink. I don't think Symlink was all that great last time I tried it, but let's try again. We're going to symlink the GoGo MCP repo because I have like a big semi-mono repo, but I don't want to open it all at once because then cursor just becomes incredibly slow. But I do want mcode to have access to it because while cursor was kind of able to navigate multiple folder workspaces, mcode last time I checked wasn't. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open the embeddable MCP server API. I don't exactly know what the best README is. So this is, yeah, this is something we could delete. And then readme.md is, so I wonder, because I'm pretty sure, oh, this is not what I wanted to delete, was it? Third-party GoGo MCP README. This is the implementation one that I wanted to delete. Well, I deleted another one, too bad. Yeah, it's because VS Cursor like switches back folders, which has always been annoying me. I think the README is good enough to go. I wonder if I like put this in doc though. Building a Go MCP tool. I think this doesn't have the documentation for it. I'm just going to use this README. So we're going to go back to here using README as a guidance. Add a MCP start, add an MCP verb to n8n CLI main.go and expose all the tools, all the existing verbs as tools, moving shared functionality into command n8n CLI pkg. I think that's going to be all. I heard some good things about the to-dos thing, so we're just going to turn that on, see where this gets us. I also wonder, before I start this, let me just see if there's a new version of AMP Research Preview. No, because yesterday that was one like every 30 minutes. So, but it's a Sunday, so I get it. I get it. All right, let's continue. We're on a pretty good tangent, but we can also do some copy paste because we don't need to be all that super automated. So we had Claude 4 create a JSON for a chatbot with web search that we're going to try to import into our n8n, right? So our n8n is here. We're going to be creating a workflow. And then I think we can import things over here. Import from file. And we have our workflow over here. And then it says, oh, property values item name is not iterable. So I was expecting that we don't have enough context for Claude to do the right thing here. So n8n JSON format, understanding the data structure of n8n, transforming data, data transformation node. What is this? Text courses, level 2. I don't think this is what I want. This is just like standard stuff. JSON schema. We can just launch a deep research while we're at it. Create an extensive reference document for the n8n JSON file format so I can give it to a new intern so that they can implement workflows, add all the necessary context a new intern would need. Software engineering intern. And then run deep research, answer a few questions, both yes, no, very detailed. All right, let's go. We can let that run. In the meantime, so since we're not able to do generation from Claude, what I can maybe, however, do is create like a step-by-step, create step-by-step instructions so I can, actually, I'm going to say I can't import it because why is it pasting this? Can I get more information? Use the web to find proper solutions. Yeah, because this has like very agentic stuff, but I don't think it is doing it as well as O3 is doing it. So we'll see. I don't know exactly what this thing is going to look at as well. So while we're doing this, I am going to go to another course that I did, which was built-in AI content automation thing with like a vibe marketer stuff. So I haven't gone all too far here in terms of I've made a course, right? And this is something I'll use. I'm going to record like a tiny little course of something I just learned today, but that's going to be like my kickoff to get me to just like start making video lectures. Give me a sec. All right, so essential nodes, this is pretty cool. Research and data aggregation, AI-powered content ideation, automated content and image creation. This is pretty cool as an example, right? So can you describe the different n8n screenshots? This is also pretty cool. Actually, I wonder where we're at with our video download here. So I'm gonna move this to video.webm. I'm gonna open my shell script. I remember it being called MP4 somewhere. So the video file is called n8n.webm. Is that what I called it? My fucking memory. Video.n8n. All right, and then we're just going to try to see if that works, right? Interesting. Okay. So this is Anthropic blog post, agent stack web form and example, Claude create new project. Can I move this to the side? So there's like a bunch of things where you probably macOS Finder download, where you could probably want to move it forward like just like a half second or second around-ish. So let's see if we can quickly do that. Extract Claude. Timestamp 001 00111. So that's interesting. We're gonna put this into our clipboard and we're just gonna make a quick adjustment in chat GPT 4.0. And then I mean I guess I could do this like this. I've never really tried that. Extract Claude, make it extract the screenshot about 0.5 seconds later. And then I do need to add a save file functionality to my CLI tool, which again, I'm sure that Claude can one-shot. And then this is the stuff why I always just like get completely fucking distracted doing this stuff. Because there's just so much cool stuff to be built, right? So if I go in here and then I'm gonna make extract Claude 2.sh, so I still have to copy paste it manually. If I do extract Claude 2.sh, it's going to, what is it? What's the diff? If I diff from extract Claude the first to extract Claude the second, then the only difference we have is like it adds half a second. I thought it would be something, it'd do something like a little bit more interesting, but because I'm curious about this web form example. Yeah, see, so this is going to be, this is the thing I was worried about when like kind of extracting screenshots from this is like, well, how am I going to get like the very exact frame number? Is that something it can actually do here, the Gemini? Can you give me exact frame numbers for the screenshots, the seconds are not precise enough. I'm just experimenting with AI Studio because I've never really used it. So I'm kind of like trying to push it a little bit. Let's check on our deep research. Yeah, so it's still running because we do want to have like a good document. Just clone the upstream data source. So I knew this was on GitHub, right? I love this that O3 gave me that. So we're gonna go and just clone it, and then we'll have all the docs in there. Yeah, this is great. So wget mirror, that was the one, right? Can I render them from the Git into a single big document? n8n docs. And just gonna have a look at what's in here. We have 80,000 lines of markdown. And then, well, I've built a tool to get them all into one document. Yeah. So built-in nodes, how many tokens is that going to be? This is going to be pretty crazy. So what I'm going to do is the same as always, which is leverage our good friends, the LLMs. And I'm going to say, give me the list of markdown files that would be very useful for a n8n prompt to create JSON workflows with some AI features, but not list all the thousands of integrations. And then I'm just going to take this list of files and then I'll show you how to use my tool to turn that into like a single document. Let's see if we get exact timestamps from AI Studio. Where is our AI Studio? That's not the one I want. Did I close it? Oh no. So here it gives me the exact timestamps, frame numbers, timestamp calculation, frame number 5066. So I'm curious if this is precise. Update your shell script. Oh, actually, it doesn't have the shell script, right? Like it doesn't have it in here. So I have to give it update this shell script with your list of screenshots, just to see if those timeframes are actually correct. If those timestamp numbers are more precise than the other, I don't know. That's the stuff I want to learn. In the meantime, where did I ask it to do the list of files? Man, I already am confused by my own tabs. So let me close this. Let's close all this garbage. And where did I put this list of file names? Oh, I put it in here, right? So, okay. Just as a raw list. No, actually, I like the first version. I actually make a shell script that outputs them and the sections and explanations as one big markdown. Because then we can tweak it more easily. So we do now have our deep research has finished, which I think this is going to be really nice to add to our project. So we're gonna save that, and we're gonna move back to our Claude project, right? We're gonna go into our projects, gonna go into the n8n project, and we're gonna add to the project. We're gonna add from add text content, and then here we're gonna do NSN JSON format reference. Gonna add the content. And if we go back here, and we can potentially just like take the exact same prompt, right? The exact same thing we had. Actually, we're going to edit it and take the proper formatting. And then we're just going to create a new chat, which it doesn't create in the same folder, which is like so annoying. All right, so let's try again. Now that we have the JSON format that's been attached, and we'll see what happens. I hope it makes something that can be imported, right? And so here we have our shell script now to create like a nice little markdown document. And we're going to load that into our n8n docs kind of checkout, which I guess we have. All right, so make big markdown.sh. And I think this might work. All right, so bash make big markdown. File size 140K, and then if we clips it, this is 40,000 tokens. So that's pretty nice too. And so we're going to just add that to our Claude project too. So Claude AI projects n8n, and then we're going to add project knowledge, text content, n8n documentation, and yeah, hopefully this works nicely. So we'll see. We'll see how well this new attempt worked, which I think is this is the new one, right? Yeah. So I hope that we have more chance with this guy, right? So I wonder if n8n allows us to import from the clipboard. I thought I saw that option. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go to import. Oh, no, it allows you to import from a file and from a URL. Download as JSON. Import from file. And this worked significantly better, although there is like some stuff that is required, which we'll probably have to look at. I don't know what might be required. So we do have a chat message webhook. Okay, and we do need like a webhook URL, which it like filled from, I don't know what. Then we extract a message from the webhook. This is kind of crazy. Okay. And then, so what does the documentation here tell us? But the thing is that now that we've uploaded the new description of nodes that exists, if we go back and like basically make a third version of this, then we can use the new AI nodes. Hopefully it will use this like chatbot node that I saw the other day. So we'll see. But this is a good workflow. I mean, I guess this is something I really should make a video about as well in my course, is like gathering context for generating stuff, right? It's like a little bit tedious, but once you have it, then it's like gold. And you can use your LLM quite a bit to like generate, right? Like to generate a markdown that has everything. I didn't spend much effort doing it. I was like, you figure it out, and you have like Google Sheets and Airtable, and I can kind of refine it if I wanted, because it has the full file. So I could say like, can you make one for Google Drive and the AI tools or those kinds of things. So we'll see. Great. Great, bro. but we are fearless. Oops. We are fearless, and we're going to save this as downloads chatbot3.json. This is a little script that I kind of built that allows me to edit the clipboard straight in like a little Emacs window. So we're going to make a new workflow, and then, all right, do I have to save this one? All right. This is a 7. Yeah, all right, cool. Shut up. Create a new workflow. And then we're going to do import from file. Install this node to use it. This is a LangChain node. Okay. n8n nodes LangChain, because probably the doc only gave it like LangChain nodes. Is that what is in our documentation? See, so you might want to look a little bit more at the documentations here. So give me an overview of the different AI nodes available, for example, chatbot, etc. And what else? The LangChain nodes is AI specific nodes, but they're all the LangChain nodes, but I'm sure there's other ones, right? But we see we're like getting a little bit more robust in our n8n generation. So we might be able to continue following the course of this dude. Then make a second script that uses those instead of LangChain as well. Supabase, Google Docs, Twitter, and I don't know, that's it. All right, cool. So this is running. What else are we going to do? Are we going to check in on our cursor to see if it should add the MCP thing? So I think it added the MCP verb so that we have an n8n MCP, because then we can kind of do everything within cursor, which is going to be pretty cool. So it did add the MCP command, right? Like, did it make many tools though? This is the thing that I'm curious about. It created the MCP tool handlers. And what do the MCP tools handlers do? Okay, so did it extract anything to PKG? Moved shared functionality. So it called the subtask one. And the subtask, all right, this is pretty cool. I do wish I could see the diffs, but maybe that is something that they added. This is kind of unreadable, but yeah, I wish I could kind of like zoom in, right? And like kind of just get like the same kind of view I get from a normal agent run, but in the sub agent. It had a to-do, which are displayed at the bottom. This is great. I love that as a UI little feature. This is really cool. Well, let's go test it, right? I think it like tries to build it. No, it tries to run it because it has created it and it has built it. So if we go to labs, C labs, and then we're going to say go run command n8n CLI, and then it's going to be MCP, and then it's going to be MCP list tools. And then it lists the tools. That's pretty cool. Available tools. And then does it list like the full doc? Because it does need some prompt engineering around the tools, right? n8n mcp.go. And then here the tool prompts are very minimal. So make pretty extensive, detailed MCP tool prompts and argument descriptions. Yeah, so we'll see what it does. Because it should understand MCP because it has such a recent training date. I think the training cutoff is like March 2025, which is pretty wild. So I put this into a different window to ask to tell me which. No, what did I do? Just as a raw list. Didn't I do, for example, chatbot, then make a new version of the script without replacing LangChain node with these inbuilt AI ones and Google Docs, Drive, Superbase, external. All right. It's weird, like it failed, right? And then it rewound, because I'm sure I sent this off. I'm sure I saw this like chat node in my, where is it? What is it? Because if I go back, save, if I go back, my first AI agent in, it has this like open chat kind of thing. What kind of node is that? How do I figure that out? Open chat, hide chat. Open chat, hide chat, n8n. Chat trigger node. Okay, interesting. So that is correct. So it updated the script, which is cool because I'm going to now use that script, n8n AI workflow guide 2.md. Oh, this is, no, it should be a sh. Okay, so make big markdown -2.sh. And then we're going to do make big markdown 2.sh. Command not found. Interesting. How did it break comparing to the previous one? Oh, because I pasted everything in there. Wait. Copy. Why is this back here? And then if I do copy, okay. Did I forget something to paste? Oh my God. All right. Let's try that. And it updated it again, right? So n8n big markdown workflow guide. This time it's 54,000 tokens. Let me remove it and just run it again to make sure it didn't like append to it. I don't think it did. So maybe we can go back to the project in Claude and just replace the previous one so it doesn't use like LangChain node all the time. So we're going to add back some text content and then we're going to say that's n8n documentation. And we're going to recreate our chatbot that has a simple web search tool. So let's see what happens. This third attempt, hopefully third time's the charm. And we'll see where this goes. In the meantime, we do have our MCP tool cooking here with better tool names. So we're going to go build command n8n CLI, and we're going to save that in local bin n8n MCP, right? Malformed import path. Do I have to do it here? Local bin n8n MCP. All right, cool. And so now if I do MCP UI and I go to the cursor and I add a new one, n8n, command path, n8n MCP, argument MCP start. Because n8n MCP start, right? Because hopefully this is on, oh shit, this is on stdio. So I need to update logging information when running in MCP mode should be output on stdr. Let's see if that fixes it. Otherwise, I can still like redirect it to a log file. Actually, why not try that? Log file temp n8n .log log level debug. Oh shit, I should I'm so used to press escape from VI. Log file temp n8n mcp.log log level debug, and then the shortcut is Alt S. So if we go to cursor and we go to our MCP, we see n8n with all these tools. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty awesome, huh? I don't know why it like reinitializes all of these. But so now if I go and I say list all the workflows, is this going to work? Holy shit, it does. Oh, and it gives like the full workflow back, right? Like that's kind of not great. So the thing with giving like example workflows is that you can do some pretty nice stuff. So we can have, I don't know, which one do we have open right now? We have add my first agent and n8n, you know, add an output message thing. All right, so let's quit this, close the whole shell here, and open a Firefox and go to localhost 5678, open our demo first agent, add an output HTTP request. No, add an output node showing the agent transcript to demo my first agent in n8n. I wonder if like how good this MCP stuff that like I kind of very much of a vibe coded. Although I think I remember the last time I was like a little bit more precise. So this is cool. It output like the workflow. It adds a set node that captures the agent's response and formats it in the display. Did that work? Failed to update. API return non-200 status 400. How do I get the logs for that? Do I see the logs in here? No, I don't. Okay. How could I get the logs on the n8n side to see what was wrong? And other things I'm going to add here is in the list workflows. So maybe I'll commit, right? Because this is like a really good, nice start. Didn't expect this to work that well, but you know, it's a new day, a new model, a new crazy time. So things are crazy. n8n CLI. What is the .temp to delete thing? temp file to trigger deletion. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna add a branch, add n8n MCP, add n8n MCP first draft. And the things we're gonna update here is, I will have a to-do, but what we wanna do is like output only description of workflows, not the full workflow in list workflows. When HTTP failure, return the whole result body to help debug. That's it for now. Because it would be really nice to be able to say like, oh, add this node and have like a really funky little thing going on. In the meantime, I don't remember what we were doing here. I think we created a new one over there. So let's try this guy here and try importing that guy. So we're going to save it as downloads chat4.json or 5.json, who cares? And then go back to overview, leave without saving, create a workflow, import from file chat5.json. And so this worked. It's still using the LangChain nodes, isn't it? That's like funny. Are the LangChain nodes still in the project? Because I told it to not have LangChain in there. Interesting. I thought we didn't have LangChain in the new one. Make big markdown 2.sh and then advanced AI, integration core nodes, built-in cluster nodes, node LangChain. Advanced AI nodes, LangChain. Do we have like a chat trigger node? So I'm gonna just delete the LangChain stuff here, right? But it still has LangChain, which is not what this OpenAI node is, right? If I go to what triggers this workflow? No, I don't want it to trigger. I want a node, add node, trigger manually. Oh, because you do need to have like a chat trigger. Okay. Yes. And then I have this, and so now I can add AI, OpenAI, right? Assistant, image actions, audio actions, OpenAI actions. I can do AI agent, AI templates, question answer, text classification. Is there not just like a simple LLM kind of inference node? Am I missing something? Oh, a simple chain to okay. And then we can do OpenAI here, for which I have credentials. Okay. So why are these nodes not described in my docs? I'm going to try a third time, and this time I'm just going to say don't use LangChain nodes, use the inbuilt nodes. So we'll see. I don't know what a chain is compared to a node. I don't know if that's like a difference. Using the basic LLM chain node. So it's a node, not a chain. And then there's like a bunch of templates, which might also be very interesting to download and just process, right? Also very interesting. I think what I'm going to do now, just to get started with n8n, is stop fucking around with my MCP. Actually, I can't stop fucking around with my MCP. What is it building here, actually? Like a little bit struggling with... It's not struggling with file edits, which is the thing that worried me, because I had a cursor running in the background that would just like fuck with stuff. So where did I have canceled by user? Okay, so this is where I put in my stuff. And it's handling error response in the client, and then it's having trouble formatting that stuff. It has a problem with the edit here. Oh, because there's multiple matches. That's kind of the problem with like fixing the if-r in Go, is that you often get like multiple matches if you're pretty rigorous about it. It's been struggling, Jesus. So let's see, does it even compile? It does compile, right? So we can go build it out and kind of replace it. If we go back to MCP servers, and I'm gonna just like kind of make sure that it gets reloaded properly, just to be safe. And I'm gonna go back to my previous prompt now that we have a better... Well, I mean, it's still gonna fail, but hopefully we get back like some error response. So it's gonna get the get workflow. I should have restarted from there. And remember, this guy has like no reference for all the nodes that exist and stuff like that, right? Oh, why doesn't it print that stuff out? Maybe it prints it out in the logs. So tail temp n8n MCP log. Okay, so that's maybe something I'll need to tell it, is like it should be returned. Failed to update workflow. Calling tool arguments. It doesn't seem to print the result, right? But also, did it properly rebuild and reinstall is always my question. Server stopped. All right, so I still only get... how do I copy paste this? Oh man, it can't copy paste this. In the response. Is there a way to get more? I was saying like maybe I should start going through workflows myself, just to kind of start to build my stuff manually. So you can have a download file from, what is this node? It's a Google Docs node. And then you have a Pine vector store, which we can replace with Supabase, the default data loader, recursive text data splitter. So the default data loader, I kind of don't fully understand how this works. But it's like a configurable... I don't know what the fuck this is. Okay, well, anyway, let's get started, because this is what we want to learn, right? So let's rebuild this guy. I like this guy, and see if we're able to do that. So I'm gonna create a new workflow, and then we're gonna create a new trigger that's called execute workflow. Execute trigger manually. All right. Then set file URL in Google Drive. This is like a manual input node. What kind of node is this? Where do I see the node type besides hovering over there? This is a set node. And then it's a manual mapping. And then we're going to have file URL, which is a string. And then we're just going to copy this default document. Drag input fields. That's it. Test step. Sure, why not? And then we're going to add our next step, which is going to be download files with Google Docs. So I think you can, oh no, you can't click here. I thought you could click somewhere clever. Right here? No. Because if you go back here, you can like go back to the previous node, but it doesn't seem like you can easily add a new one. All right, so download file. So this is Docs, Google Docs. Google Drive, download file, and file download from list by URL. Okay, cool. And then here the $JSON is the JSON output of the current node for the current item, shorthand for input item JSON. So we only get, so each node outputs an array. I've read a little bit. I had ChatGPT make myself like a in-depth advanced n8n guide on how the workflow, the control flow works. So that was pretty interesting. So PDF to vector kind of stuff. So once we download it, we then have a vector store, but that's not kind of what I want. I want to have, but this is however the AI stuff. Vector store. What is the documentation for this? This is a root node, cluster node, root node, pine vector, but I want to have like a Supabase vector store. And then I guess we're going to have add documents to vector store. Connect credentials, Supabase account, operation mode, insert documents, table name, choose. So I know I created this as part of another tutorial. Let's see if our documents table like works well. How do I see my projects? Postgres database, open source database. How do I see my projects? Dashboard? Okay. n8n backend, which has two tables and the vector extension enabled. Database, table. This is the table record manager. And then we have documents, which has content, metadata, embedding. So that should be enough, right? Documents, insert documents, table from list, embedding batch size. Okay, and so here we can connect our default data loader, right? And so the default data loader, type of data, we're going to see what this guy does. So the default data loader is load all input type of data binary. Interesting. Load all input data, automatically detect, and then options, metadata, add property, file URL. Oh, what the fuck? File URL. And then this is a value. It's like set file URL in Google Drive. This is from a previous node, right? Set edit fields, right? .first, .json, .file URL. So now I'm actually curious to see if I edit the node name, it's actually going to edit it here as well. So it's this is how you access previous nodes. Download file .first .binary .data .file name. Is that right? Binary.data.file name. And the way to best see that, right, is like running a test on the previous node. So the text splitter, we're still going to put it in here, and this is going to be a Split text into chunks by characters recursively. Sure, why not? Chunk size. What do they use here? Text slipper, chunk size 3000. Overlap 200. Seems so crude. And the Supabase vector store. What is still missing? Oh, because it needs the embeddings, right? And so we're going to use the OpenAI embeddings. Text embed small. That seems great. Let's go back. So if I edit the name of this node and I call it like set file URL, does it rename it in the data loader? Set file URL. All right, cool. So if I rename the Google Drive one into download drive file, then it will rename it down here as well, right? Download drive file. Why is it this one is in green? Oh, because this one hasn't been run yet. So if I run this guy, we can double click and we can see the output here, which is as JSON, we'll see it has a file URL, but it doesn't have this like this binary.metadata.file name. I wonder if we see that on the Supabase vector as a JSON input for the binary. We don't really see that, right? This is something you would have to know how to do. I guess if you go to document and then see, this doesn't match. And then does it allow me to explore it? Object with nothing. All right, but that's not what I wanted. What is the properties that it uses here? Download file first. Okay. Okay, so here it now has the JSON with the file URL, but it doesn't have the file name, right? It has a file URL paired, and then it has binary, which also works, data, which also works, and then we have the file extension, the file type, but no file name. This is all the content of the PDF. And then, it has file uppercase N name, which I missed. Okay, and then it actually shows it to me as an autocomplete. Very nice to know. The reason I like doing this stuff by hand, right? Like, it seems like a little bit stupid, but it really teaches me about the little hiccups in the UI and like what kind of shortcuts I could potentially use. Like, it just like, more importantly than the workflow itself, it allows me to, and now I lost it, Jesus. It allows me to just like learn a little bit about LangChain and like productivity shortcuts. Like it's right, when you read the documentation, it's like you don't learn what it is to actually use the thing. And you have to like be pretty tedious about it. When you watch, especially like a YouTube video, you actually learn how people who use this day to day, what kind of little tricks they have and like what kind of features you might not actually even know in the UI. So often, especially when I'm tired, I'll just like put on a YouTube video of some 20-year-old doing stuff and I'll just copy them. And I've learned like a lot of like little cool things that way, and it's very relaxing in a way to do this. So we're going to do our chat trigger now, because this is going to download the document and put it into our vector data store, which I think if we go to Supabase now, where's my Supabase? It doesn't have it. There's my Supabase. Yeah, so now it has like all these different chunks of the Bitcoin excuse me, of the Bitcoin paper. And it should have like a bunch of metadata in here as well. So we have the location from line 2 from 1, PDF, open office. So it's adding like PDF metadata. The metadata is null, but it has the file name and the file URL in here. So I think this is the metadata of the PDF, and then this is the metadata in general. So cool. Now we can build our chatbot down here, right? So we're going to add a new trigger. We're going to call it the chat trigger. I think that's enough. Where is the chat trigger now? It's down here. Can move it up here. And so now I'm going to start to look at just like the graph and try to remember if I see that. Set the max chunks, get the top chunks matching query, prepare the chunks, which is a JavaScript function. So that's interesting. Answer the chunks based on the query based on chunks, which I think is the LLM call. And then compose citations is a set, and generate response is also a set. So interesting. So we're going to add a set to set the max chunks, right? Set max chunks to send to model. Then we're going to add an input field, which you're going to call max chunks. And this is going to be a number. Default, I'm going to say 3. Okay. Then I wish there was a shortcut to just like add the next node. Is that something that I'm missing here? It has execute previous node. Is this something that's just like not output? No. Okay, well, I guess I have to do this like that. So the next thing we were doing was like retrieve. Yeah. So this is Supabase vector store. And then we're going to say retrieve documents for chain tool as vector store for AI agent as tool. Is that super vector store 1? Retrieve documents. Name. Oh, this creates a tool for an LLM agent. Right? So get documents, retrieve documents matching the input query from list, documents, limit 4. All right. So I don't think this is the right node. I think this creates a node that can be used as a tool. So we're going to keep that for now though. And we're going to put the embeddings OpenAI with small, which is great. So we're going to keep that warm. Oh my God, come on. We're just going to keep that to the side. Why did it zoom in now? Stupid thing. So I have to select the nodes in full, and then it didn't move it. What the fuck? All right, so this was not the right node. So Supabase vector store, retrieve documents for chain tool as vector store for chain tool. Let's check before we fill this out. This is not the thing I want either. Like I want an actionable node here. Supabase vector store, get rank document from vector store. We're going to get the documents table. And then the prompt is going to be interesting because we do want the when chat message received, right? And then we want the item. Oh, we want the first, right? And then we're just going to send a chat message. So open chat. Who invented Bitcoin? A sub-embedding node must be connected and enabled, but we do now have the necessary information. We're going to call OpenAI here, adding our text embedding small. And yeah, actually having the MCP is going to be really nice. So here we do have the first. Oh, it was showing me all of this chat input. Chat input. No, wait, what? First.json chat input. Okay, so this is going to be, I mean, it's going to be like very not great RAG. A sub-embedding node must be connected and enabled. I'm going to test this. Error searching. Could not find the function public match documents in the schema cache search for the blah, blah, blah. Interesting. Retrieve documents. Why is this not running? Operation mode. Retrieve documents. Update document. Get many for the query. Prompt. Expression. Gonna look at the docs. Use the supervise vector store to interact with your data. Node usage pattern to insert retrieve. You can see an example of this. Use a retriever to fetch documents. Why is this a video? Jesus Christ. Oh, it actually has an exploration part here. So here it has get all files. This is just a standard Supabase, not vector store, right? Insert into Supabase. And then it has the retrieve part here as a vector store as a tool. But that's not what I want. I want like a retrieval node in the chain. See an example of this in scenario 1 of this template. What is scenario 1 though? Scenario, yeah, but it's not doing retrieval here, is it? Oh no, it might be doing retrieval over there. Create file, insert. Yeah, operation create with the embedding, so it never like reads, right? It only has like this get all, but not retrieve. So what am I doing wrong? Searching for documents. Could not find a function public match documents. Okay, so n8n Supabase vector store. Seems I'm not the only one. Follow these steps to resolve it. So Supabase quick start. LangChain, initialize your database, create extension vector, create this, create function match documents. Okay. So this needs to be done in here, right? Create a function. Holy shit, why is this so bad? Syntax error. Yet why am I not able to properly copy paste this? This is so bad. I hate it. So, because we already have the extension vector part, so we're gonna just try this again. Why is it complaining? Relationship documents, if not exists. If not exists. Oh my god, I don't know Postgres. I've been doing a lot of SQLite lately, so I'm kind of kind of rusty on my Postgres. All right, so we have the function map documents. good to know, these like little hiccups. We can test the step, and we got retrieved output. We got like a bunch of vectors. Oh, so that's the embeddings. And then this output does now have how many? 4 items, right? Which are all the, just like the Bitcoin shitty stuff. All right, so we do have retrieved documents. Where were we with our, and then I think it just like sends that to an LLM in here, right? So it gets the top chunks matching the query. I'm actually curious to see what they had in here, just like as prompt the chat input, as limit the JSON chunks. Oh, that's right. We didn't update that to be the limit of the JSON. Why is this not like doing this like nice little completion thing here? Oh, because it needs to be expression. So JSON max chunks. Cool. Back to Canvas. What they have after that is prepare chunks. So that's a JavaScript node. That is interesting because that's something I haven't seen yet. And so I am actually going to copy this manually because I would have no idea what to do. So we have a code node, run once for all items. And however, here I'm just going to do the manual thing again. Just to experiment and see how nice this all is. So I can open this into its own little editor. And then I can say for const I in input.all. Feels very weird to write this without tab complete. It's like almost like the old days. So here we do some formatting to prepare for the LLM, right? Where we like separate each chunk. Oh man, I hate this like autocomplete that then comes and then if you type too fast, it selects it. Where's my plus? When I have to think about where a key is, then I don't find it. All right, anyway, item text input.all number I.json. So that's nice that it's able to like go through all and do all this typing work. I wonder if they use TypeScript under the hood or something to do that kind of stuff. Here's the plus. Oh, this is like tedious as fuck. And then, so you have this formatting and then it returns it as JSON though, right? It like formats the string and returns it as JSON. And so if I do testing the step, then if I look at the output, which, why is it so weird? Okay. Then we have all of this chunk 0. Do we have a chunk 1 somewhere? Chunk 2. Okay, so this is nice. And what do they do after that? Then they send it to the LLM, right? So if we go to information extractor, because this looks like that guy. What is, this is not an LLM call, is it? To extract structured information from incoming data. Text defines the input text to extract information from. So this is just like going through an LLM and extracting JSON from the result. Is that what this is? That's pretty cool. And then we can attach our model, right? And then GPT-4o mini, why not? No need to ruin ourselves. And so what are the parameters here? You can just like put in a text and then we could just like put the JSON context, right? So because that's the first, like if I do first, it will also do this context. So no, it's because it's not an array. That's interesting. I thought it would always be an array. And then we would say question, I would actually like add some separators here. Question, when chat message received dot first dot JSON dot chat input. And then we could say helpful answer schema type from define below, define the JSON type manually. Okay, cool. And I guess then we can run it, huh? Options, system prompt template. System prompt template. Okay. Cool. What other options can I add? That's the only options I can add? Okay, cool. The format has to be defined in the JSON schema format. I guess that's not a warning. That's just like a general response. And then it says compose citations, which is just a set node, right? And then, holy shit, is this some JavaScript? So just like formats the citations result. So if I run this now, right? Yeah, man, this is pretty nice to just like experiment around, right? Bitcoin was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto, and then it has 0 citations. So if I go back and I say if I go back to my chat, where's my chat? Open chat. A subnode must be connected. And how do I send stuff back to the chat, right? So we could say compose citations. I'm just going to copy paste this stuff. Close the chat. Set the set node. Manual mapping. And then we're going to say expression, right? I don't think this is how this works. Fields to set. Compose citations. Mode manual mapping. And this is an array. Fixed. Wait, what is it doing? Fields to set, citations. Citations, array, and then the value is this thing here. Because what's the input? JSON citations map dot all. I'm gonna JSON output citations. Is this maybe what we didn't have before, the output part? Reference node doesn't exist. Map. Oh, because these nodes don't exist, right? What was that? Get top chunks matching queries. Retrieve documents 1. All. What is that weird JSON citations notation? Like there's something wrong, weird here. Can I do that? Like what does that mean? Referencing by an array. This seems so weird as a syntax, isn't it? I don't trust that seems so weird. Holy shit, and now it like just closed it. I had no way of escaping the dialogue. That's so weird. Because if I do JSON output citations, then what comes out of this? Invalid syntax, right? Is it, do I need to do I? Object. But what if I do JSON output citations? Object as well? Oh, so now it's the index? So this is the array, but then I get the individual index. That's such a weird syntax. Because I should be enough, right? The I just seems more readable to me. Assuming it's the same thing. So it does i.json.document.metadata.filename. All right, so that's whitepaper.pdf. And then it does do plus lines, retrieve documents. Holy shit, this is like just such a weird way of writing things. Can I do const doc is equal to retrieve documents dot all I, right? No. And then return. Then I can do document. I just like document. No, JSON.document, right? All right, this is really painful. You know, this is the stuff that I hate. Doc plus metadata dot JSON document metadata lock lines from. So it's not able to do this. Return. Is it like a syntax thing? No, it's like const doc document, return doc, then nothing happens, right? Map function I. So this doesn't work. Okay. So why are you complaining about const doc is equal to 5 to 2 to retrieve documents dot all I, and then we can do doc. And so this is, yeah, I don't know what I was typing before that wasn't working, but this time it is working. Oh man, this is so tedious to write. Like, this is horrible. I hate this. And so this returns plus doc metadata dot file name line And then here we have doc metadata lock lines from. What do we have as input? From retrieve documents, we have document page content metadata lock lines to from. Lock lines from. Okay. So it's weird that this template does have like seemingly a different kind of syntax. Doc metadata lock lines to. Right? So now it has like lines. And then it just like adds the, holy shit, like why can't this go away? I hate this so much. I hate this so much. So the first one, the metadata.lock file name is now not working because it's file underscore name. Okay. So those are the citations, right? We're going to save this, by the way. And then we're going to run this. And it only has one input document. Interesting. Okay, or that's a structured output out of the LLM, right? And then generate response is going to be the JSON answer plus the JSON citations if they're empty. So what is this? It's another set name. And then it's going to be citations, but where does it get the answer from? It answers the answer from here. So manual mapping, and then we're going to call this output, and then here the information extractor dot item dot json dot answer dot output dot answer, and then it's going to do this, which I think that part we can reuse. All right. So how do I re-inject that into the chat? Chat trigger. No. How do I re-inject that into the chat thing here? I guess we can go see the documentation for that. Chat trigger node. You must connect either an agent or chain root node. So the root node is going to be the output that goes into the chat. But I do have two root nodes, right? Who are you? Princess saving. That's so funny. List the top 3 capabilities of Bitcoin. All right, this is pretty cool, right? All right, yeah, that was fun. That was like a fun little tutorial. We learned a bit. We learned a bit about all of this. Maybe it's time to get like a little break. Maybe it's time to have like a little break. So what's the name of this information extractor? Do we have that in our LangChain information extractor? So why is it not able to get it? We were trying to debug the MCP thing, right? Okay. So what we're doing here is building an MCP tool to actually be able to build an agent as we go. So let me reinstall that actually. Oh my God, I hate this. I guess we shouldn't be doing it like that. We should be maybe moving it to this workspace. I usually have like 4K monitors, so I'm like always very constrained when I'm on stream. Feel very constrained when I'm on stream. So what is it doing now? It's like go build new. Let me add some additional debugging by making the error message even more explicit. Let me add a prefix to make it clear this is the enhanced error. And so I wonder if in our embeddable framework, where we have our handlers, these handlers have to return a tool result, right? And so I wonder if it would be nice to have a wrapper that just like provides a writer for them to register tools like that. Because this is with enhanced tool. I don't know what the difference between with enhanced tool is, or if it was just like because it was refactoring things. Anyway, all right, so the data log to STDR, we're running in MCP mode, so you can also check the logs for even more detailed information over there. So that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this out again. We're going to open the MCP preferences here. It's been turned off and we're turning it back on. So now it's outputting like a shit ton of stuff over there. That's cool. And we're going to restart from here. After we get our workflow result, can I restart from reject? And then I can just go back here. All right. Let's try again, I guess. It's going to get the workflow, even though it already has it. But still cool. Like this way we can like say, get the workflow for a couple of example workflows and then just like copy that stuff. So add node, result, failed to, why does it not return more? I'm like curious if it's still running the old n8n thing. See, is it still loading this? So here it's running n8n. So no, it's not. And then if I build it and I start it, now it's running, right? At a debug log level, sending response component. I wonder if we're missing on log files because now that I moved it to the stdio, it might be doing something different. I'm not sure. Oh my God. Where are the MCP logs? Oh my God, they have a white space in there. I hate it. All right, print 0, xarg0. The latest one is this guy here. All right. I'm going to say continue. So we really don't know anything about more of the response in the stdio logs, right? This is weird because I would expect it to output more. Output error status, log info, API request failed. Do I see that in here? No. What's the exact error message it gets back? Failed to update workflow. API returned. New text content. Client update workflow, API return. Yeah, but it doesn't like output anything out of the body here, huh? Why did it not like do this? That's weird. I thought I asked it in client.go. Yo, like there is a file called client.go. Don't you see it? Yeah, there it is. Log the response body even in error case, not 200. Because at least I want to get it back, but I also kind of want to like communicate it back to this dude. And so it would be interesting to see in a MCP context, even if we have an error, it should kind of get, I think, return a map as well if it is unmarshaled. Yeah, they're still using the old error handling. Like, I wonder if it's the same pattern that was like where it was trying to apply stuff, but then it didn't, that I had yesterday. See, let's be more specific with the update. And then it didn't edit it. So I have the same issue as yesterday, where it like it says it's doing stuff, but it's actually not. Very, very, very fucking weird. Because it's still applying it on line 269, right? It says that it applied it, but it didn't. Like, I think there's a bug here. And this time I don't have background cursors going. So let me try something again, which is I'm going to close all of these files. And now I'm going to try again, see if it's like some kind of weird interaction. And maybe I should just do this stuff in the console. So actually I'm going to go into the console after that and just like start to see if there's something I can do. See, it has been modified, but like definitely not by me. And I think the auto format is like is like, it's like, see, it opened it. This is the exact same behavior that I had yesterday, where it would open the file in cursor, and then it would like not be able to apply the diffs, right? All right, so this is the exact same behavior I had yesterday. There's something going on here that is weird. See, and then I would have these error messages. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I wonder if it's because I have like a running thing over there in the chat. There's something going on here, and then this is something I should I'm gonna flag for the team, because I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. We're gonna try to just like close cursor. I'm gonna make sure that cursor is not running anymore. I'm gonna open cursor again, and then we're just gonna try to resume this AMP code and see what happens there, to do a little bit of investigation. So this is the exact same behavior that I had yesterday. It would open the file on its own, and it would fail to edit it, even though it was like sometimes saying that it was actually successful at editing it. And I suspect some bad interaction of between the two, even though I have like kind of turned off the auto formatting. I'm not sure I really did. See, this is happening again. Exactly the same behavior. And it wasn't happening at first. Oh man, this is weird, because like yesterday, this actually went away. Right? When I now... Like, who's modifying this file? Yeah, this is exactly the behavior from yesterday. So let me see, if I start a new one, is this going to have the same behavior or not? Very fucking weird. Yeah, I'm going to flag that. This is this has been like a major issue with my stuff. So what does it say here? Okay, so this one was me clicking, right? And so now, is it able to apply these? So this is line 149. And here was able to apply it. So I think it might be a bug in AMP code. Was it able to apply it line 236? Yeah, it was. Right? 266. So now it was able to apply all of them, which if it was like a cursor issue, it wouldn't like do this. So I'm not sure how this is all integrated with the edit file tool and why it reloads that stuff, right? Because you can see it here editing these things, but it like wouldn't necessarily open it. So I wonder if it's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know, man. But that explains why we were not seeing like good updates when calling it, right? So let me go to the MCP tools here. I'm gonna turn this dude off. Do the go build again. So that explains, and this was like haunting me all week. I wonder if it's like me specifically, because I haven't heard that from other people. It was really like destroying my runs. And then, so if I go back here and I continue, that way I don't have to reload the workflows. Now, what do we get as a result? Request body must not have additional properties. Message not found. Okay, so actually this might be something where we need to debug the API calls, because it could be that the MCP tool is just like fine, but the API call is not good. Message request body must not have additional properties. I'm not sure what that even means, right? And so what I want to have while I'm at it, add debug logging of all the payloads sent to n8n so that we can match it to the responses. And this is definitely a tangent. It's not doing n8n stuff. So while we're doing this, let's go look at some other workflows we could like maybe be looking at. So we did have this nice little rack thing. I like that. PDF to vector. What else do we have in our templates? Personalized marketing emails using customer data and AI. Where did I get that from? For the AI LangChain competition, okay. So if we look at it, execute workflow, download some dummy data. What kind of data is that? Some Excel sheet. Then it extracts from file. This is like an Excel extract from file input binary field data. And then that's it. Then some options for the campaign. Campaign target, flavor. Then you send that to the information extractor, which you give it the input text. And then the input schema is, well, this is the output schema, right? Generate a headline and a text without salutations or blah, blah. Target of the campaign. I wonder if you can do chain of thought with this stuff, or if it's like needed to be like a one-shot JSON output. So this is a combine. This is a merge thing, right? Yeah. So mode combine by position, number of inputs. That way you can combine the output. Is the result valid? Interesting. It's a test condition. Headline body is not empty. So that's pretty nice. It doesn't retry. AI did fail us. So that's an error message. And here we could potentially retrigger, right? Is there a way to retrigger on failure? That's going to be a question for O3. Coupon them or not coupon them. So this is also an if node, and it says send coupon is true. So that's also the output. HTML template for our thing. So that's a whole HTML template. Cool. Very simple. Marked. So not coupon them, right? Fake. Oh, this is for coupon or not coupon them. HTML template without coupon. Why is it logged on true? Send coupon is true. This seems like wired up false wrongly. Fail to open a fake coupon. Coupon value not until blah blah. So this would be a coupon generator. Then you combine it and you send the email. So this is all very simple. Cool. So I like this stuff. AI results store by popularity. AI agent chat, build your first WhatsApp chatbot. It's great in summarize web pages. AI agent that can scrape web pages. Yeah, I want to build an agent with a tool call. Speaking of tools, where are we here? Okay, and I should switch to the command line, right? Like this is something, it's time now, especially if this is so buggy that it like pulls things down. So I'm building this here, I'm reloading it, and then I wonder if we'll get the body of the request. Calling tool arguments. It doesn't like send me the body of the request. Did something similar happen again? Where I was like not applying it. So if we do line 266, update workflow, do request. So it added it at line 7. No, 67. Where it moved it from log trace to log debug and do request. And we don't see it here, right? Handling, handle tool calls, handling tool, sending response. We don't see any of that debug kind of stuff. Is it because it's now sending the logs somewhere else? That might very well be. So this was in a previous chat where I asked it, maybe not most usefully, to send the error log somewhere else. So where was that change? Just to see what it did. So with middleware, configure MCP logging. MCP logging configured. Create an n8n log logger. Oh, so here it creates a new log logger, right? So just gonna comment that back out. The middleware stuff was interesting. Do I allow middlewares to be going here? All right, but let's disable that. Let's reload our MCP. Cursor settings. Let's kill this dude. All right. So now we should see the tool call happening, right? Yeah, request body, and then the response must not have additional properties. So here it'd be, what is that? Response received, calling tool argument. So we're going to do log this. Request, debug request body. So we should do with caller, right? I don't know why it's logged twice. The log twice we can kind of undo now, since it was mostly an issue of the configured logger, because it changed it from trace to log, right? Which was not all that helpful. So reinstall. Actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to edit this NMV. Where is the n8n? And then here I'm going to do with caller. Going to enable it again, and then we'll get the line numbers. But for now, I'm going to be what's wrong here. I think the tool input is correct, but then the API call is wrong. And then the API of n8n update or now add node. n8n REST API. The REST API endpoint reference. Okay, so is this in our repo? API reference. Is this something that we have retrieve a user from your instance? It isn't the Open API YAML, right? 12,000 tokens. So we're going to add this to our docs. In here, we're going to add this to our docs, new folder. Actually, we're going to put this into ttemp. Third party ttemp, and then new folder 250525. Yeah. And new file 01 n8n open api.yaml. And we're going to link that to mcode as well. See this. Yeah, so definitely like a weird bug in mcode. Or the combo mcode and cursor. But this time it's not the background cursors. It's also not auto indent. It's like something else that is weird. I wonder if I can do this. Watch all file writes in the command n8l CLI directory, so I can debug who is updating my files in the background. Let's see, is there some clever like eBPF or whatever inotify wait from the inotify? Okay. So that's interesting. Oh, come on. I need to learn my shortcuts. Labs, and then can I do this? Apt sudo apt install inotify tools. Okay. Curious to see how that pans out. Fixed. The issue was update workflow was sending the entire workflow object, including read-only and extra properties. The schema has additional properties false. So, okay. Now check the other, oh my God. Now check the other endpoint bodies as well. And so I'm curious to see if this will like show up here. So it's like reading the OpenAPI YAML. And I have my takes on like it doing that kind of stuff based on what I was experimenting with yesterday. Where it would be if you have a searching agent that does, you know, repeatedly need to say, look at a file. I think it writing a small little JavaScript snippet that it can execute in a VM to do that kind of same stuff, that would be pretty cool. So it modified Go client, but so here I want to see which PID and process name is editing it. To modify file notifications with process name PID, install fa-trace. fa-trace. Get more detailed information with all the other stuff. Audit control. Alternatively, for more modern approach with direct immediate feedback. Yeah, this is nice. Because what does sudo fa-trace do? Holy shit. Grep command n8n. And so here we can see See, it's Go PLS doing a received unexpected event info type 2. Man, this is... So what does FA trace show me? What does RCO mean? Because it's right? Like right would be the thing. So if I go here and then I go into command n8n CLI and then I edit, say, main go, I get read open create foobar. There I get a write. Okay. And so it doesn't look like there's a separate M code kind of thing. But also it does seem that this is like not super robust. And so, oh shit, I really need to add my resume functionality and history browser. All of these things that I can kind of one shot with M code now. Because do I actually, maybe I have a resume functionality. Resume. No, I don't. Because it is in config Pinocchio. No, it's not in the profiles. It's in Pinocchio history. Oh yeah, look at that. 0525. And then the one I want is this one, right? JQ 1722. I want to see which PID it is. And then oh, it didn't even save the response. So that's a bug also. All right, so we're gonna restart then, I guess. Not with FA trace or iNotify. Wait, I want to see write events and which process. Modern approach. Let's see what that gives us. BPF trace, that's a killer thing. For more targeted approach with perf. For more comprehensive solution with audit D. What is audit D? And however, while we do this, I'm going to edit and I'm going to do BPF trace. Right, and we're going to paste this in here. Error, syntax error, expected predicate, blah, blah, blah. Audit D is the Linux audit daemon, it's a security auditing kernel level subsystem that monitors system calls and provides file access modification, user logins. That seems like a lot of overhead. I'm gonna first try the big ass solution, right? Attaching 3 probes. And so now, if I go into labs and I open the main Go, for example, I see process nvim opening file. All right, yeah, this is nice. All right, so we're going to let that run and then see if we can catch like whoever is fucking with our software. It doesn't say writing though, right? I used the first one. I want to see if someone is reading or writing explicitly. So this is all on video stream, so this is good. I can give that as a pretty good debugging part later on. So Alt D. I need to improve my oh, see, there's the writes. Because this is sys enter open at, and then yeah, only writes and reads from command n8n CLI. Kind of want this as a Go program. Maybe this is a good time to try out AMP on the console, huh? Because this is starting to get unwieldy. All right. So we're going to do command experiments, make dir. So we're going to just like try AMP on the console. So I'm spending a lot of time here because this is really a blocker, a major blocker for my workflow. If AMP code is not reliable, I really want to fix that, right? So sniff writes, user bin and bash. And so now I guess I can do AMP, updating AMP, restart to apply. AMP updated, restart to apply. What's the latest AMP code CLI? Using AMP CLI source graph AMP. Is that the version we have? No, it's not the version we have. npm install. Actually, npm uninstall g source graph AMP. Okay. Which AMP? mv g33. So that's the updated version, right? Okay. So port command experiments sniff writes to go inside the same folder, compiling the eBPF and all. You know what? This is maybe just like nicer anyway than the thing in cursor. I don't know why I waited so long for testing this one. Create command sniff writes main.go. I'm not going to open that shit in cursor, am I? Maybe I should just like close my cursor as well while this is running so that it doesn't like mix with each other. Yes, so see, it like created Go mod in there. And that's gonna fail. No, so no Go mod, use the top level one. And I'm sure I have that in agent.md. Go guidelines. Maybe I don't. Okay, whoops. Don't create new Go mod in the subdirectories. Instead, rely on the top level one. Create apps in self-contained folders, usually in command apps or in command experiments. All right, cool. So all right. Yeah, no, I told you to remove the Go mod. No Go mod, use the top level one. Oh yeah, it's RM. See, this is happening again. What the fuck is going on? Because it just wrote that file, right? And yeah, so one thing that I missed from the VS Code interface now is like being able to expand this to see what old string and new string were. And I also want to see the line numbers, which I have in a diff view in the other one. So I don't know if there's like, yeah, this might actually make me go back to VS Code. Also, I don't see the result of the output because like Go mod tidy should be much faster. Right? Oh no, it's actually downloading shit. Actually, I should bump the version of no matching query for latest. JS docstring importer. So when was I doing this JS docstring extractor? Add JavaScript example to test the docstring extractor. Oh yeah, this has failed. Let's remove that. All right, cool. Yes. Why does it need Clang? It's like eBPF, BPF to go. So apt install Clang. funny. That means I've done C++ in so long. I used to be a C++ developer, but it's been like probably no. I did C++ not long ago. Oh, but it was for ARM, so it was like ARM non-EABI GCC. So run command make deps. Sure, why not? Man, and Sonnet 4 is nice, right? All right, so I'm going to run this by hand. This is interesting. I did some BPF stuff like also a long time ago, like back when I was actually a C++ programmer, and I'm sure a lot of things have changed as well since then. And also, I really don't remember anything about BPF scripts. I just remember it was really cool and helpful, and also not something like CSS that it would like every time I would need to do it, I would have forgotten everything about it, which was a big deal back then, but now is like kind of not a big deal. I have like a rough understanding of what BPF does, and that's enough for me to get like enough out of an LLM to usually get to a proper solution. So this is really quite exciting as a total like sidetrack, is that to give a bug report now, I can just like actually give them like a nice self-contained Go tool that potentially is able to reproduce that kind of stuff, even though I'm pretty like limited in my knowledge of anything here, right? I like the UI view though. All right, so how do I run this, right? It's like it's there's a readme now. So let's look at the readme. Go port of the BPF trace script to do this, generate Go bindings, manually sniff rates, files open in the command CLI, turn this, whoops. Oh, what the fuck? Turn this into a nice Cobra script that takes arguments for different desirable options. Also, the BPF script was like kind of broken, right? I wonder how long it would take to amcode with amcode. Yeah, it really is adding like a ton of like shit. It's like really a sonnet under the hood, isn't it? What do we have? Directory format, operations, process, duration, false, output. Yeah, this is fun. I'm sure there's like a bunch of stuff that I'm missing here. Config amp settings JSON keywords that don't tell us anything about the how this works. So see, this kind of like is annoying because I know how much effort or like lack of effort it takes to actually make a good documentation, because you can basically point your agent and say like, make a nice tutorial that describes all the shortcuts and slash commands and whatever that might be, and make a really nice web page. And instead you have this like, I don't know, this is really not pleasant. And even compared to like, just like normal stuff from these days. All right, make demo is nice. See, this is the kind of stuff that you should have in your docs, and it really doesn't take, like, Sonnet even does it by itself. So now I want to do make demo, and then I'm gonna, I don't know, go into /temp, and then I'm gonna make like echo blah to, so see, the make demo is run monitoring for 10 seconds. I actually want it to run longer. Sniff rates sudo sniff rates monitor dash d/temp format table. Whoops. Show fd-v. And so now if I do test.txt, tells me that Starship read stuff. I don't see the writes, right? Let's see reads. Default open, read, write, close. So what if I do only write, close? Okay. So I'm going to commit though. All right, and then so I'm gonna remove this one as well. Add first draft of sniff writes, except that it doesn't sniff the writes. This catches open and read, but doesn't seem to catch writes. And this is where it gets kind of like trickier, right? It's like, this is not a simple program by any means in that what it does. And then the starting shell script was broken already anyway, right? So like the shell script here, that was kind of broken, and I don't know sys enter write why it wouldn't do like something like that. I wonder if I can add like more debugging. Send all read events. clear file name, user space will download this. I wonder if it was able. The issue is that the eBPF code only sends write events for file descriptors that we've tracked from open@. But if a file was already open before we started monitoring or open through other syscalls, we won't have the mapping. Let me fix this by sending all write read close to the user space and doing the filtering there. Okay, and then I'm going to ask it to write like a full course about what it's doing here and how it works, just to have it in case I am curious and want to know more, or I do need to do some more debugging. So I know this is very far away from our n8n originally, but it's something, not having a reliable M code is really something that is problematic for anything that I do, because I just rely on M code these days. So also it's good feedback, right? Like maybe I'm not the only one with the issue. Even if I were, that would be kind of something to know about. So why did it fail? Let me add a debug flag to see all the events that don't match to troubleshoot. Okay, sure. Yeah, why not? So I don't know if we're vibing right now. To me, it feels like vibing, right? Like I've written so many tools like these, and here I'm basically like not looking at the code. I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of like staying at the surface. So obviously this is not React code or a web front end, but to me it kind of is, right? Because this is the kind of stuff that I've like worked on so much in the past that that it feels like very comfortable in a way, even though I don't remember anything about this stuff. So we're gonna do the --debug. Holy crap. So we're gonna remove the --debug. Which sends us like a shit ton of close. Monitor temp. So I don't see the file name in here, right? So filter by process. So can we do this? And vim -d. So if I go into labs, lost 14, 15 samples, that's interesting too. And then I am command experiments sniff writes. Did I get those? Yeah, I did get those, right? All right, so that's cool. Okay. So the filter by directory doesn't seem to work anymore, and the table output doesn't show the file name. But at least I got writes, reads when filtering by p name. When I don't, I just get a million of close events, it seems. Because if I do, oh shit. Because if I do write, read, I don't get these like lost samples, right? Oh, I do get the lost samples, but less. I wonder if it got it all. Like it's starting to be, I have no idea what this does. We're still at 50% tokens. I wonder if this has thinking enabled as well. They said you can look in config amp settings JSON. It doesn't have much in here. Settings. All right. So the file name output should be relative to the current directory and elide the beginning. Don't cut off the end. And then I wonder if the rest also works. So if I remove, oh, because I did dash. So if I do this, no, it still outputs the absolute path. So that's something to do on the userland side. However, oh, I was still filtering by pvim, right? And so I don't see the full name, right? So this is like kind of problematic what it's doing here in terms of the file name. But I could do fjson. That's weird. The path is cut off. It seems to be cut off even in the JSON version. We still seem to get a ton of writes, reads from all kinds of processes that are not related to the directory. So let me paste a little bit more here. And now stuff is starting to get weird where I'm like, should I actually understand what I'm doing here? I think I need to soon. So it's putting it back at 256, which was the thing that wasn't working before, huh? Because it was too big. Why is it downloading 124.3 now? Yeah, I think at this point, I'm starting to get into a loop that is not very productive because I actually don't understand enough about both what it created. So like, you know, the top level part here of like where the filtering happens and all of that, but also the eBPF side, which is why do I get so many events back from eBPF, right? And it's, is it just like the -- debug flag of it all that sends, that makes it print out everything? That could be definitely a possibility. So we'll see, but I definitely do want to get this going because unknown shortcut flag go mod tidy. Okay, go run dot monitor parsing event data too short. See, we're getting into like weird ass territory at this point. So at this point, probably it's like more productive to create a course on how this all works, especially the eBPF side of things, right? Like I'm curious about this. Is this generated? Code generated by BPF2Go, right? So the 128 is something that I was sure it was going to do. And then the eBPF code is in sniffwrites.c, I think. Or is this generated as well? So event data too short, got 92 bytes, expected 156. That is so, oh, because I need to do a go generate. Failed to create eBPF collection. What the fuck, bro? Yeah, at this point, we're kind of like getting into the weeds of not knowing what we're doing. And there's a bunch of interesting stuff here. So it's putting the max file name length back to 64 and use per CPU arrays for large structures. Interesting. Okay. I really wonder, there has to be like a nice tool to do what I'm trying to do here. But also, I mean, it's Sunday, it's a holiday, so might as well do some eBPF. Talk about a tangent though. And now it's starting to do like weird previous after strings. So curious about it all. We might give it to O3 as well, right? Which is, so if I do PCC, no, PCC, Pinocchio Catter, PCP. Okay, so if we do PCP main dot, I don't know, main dot go readme dot md sniff writes c, and then all right, so Kitty is now, so now we have to cut off file name stuff again, right? So maybe let's stop for now, and I want you to write a very detailed guide on how this all works, the Go and the eBPF and the things we are trying to monitor, because I forgot all about eBPF. So explain all the techniques you are using so that I can start to debug on my own as well. Be very thorough. And we're going to take that guide and the source code and just like put it in 203 and see what happens. Or maybe Opus. Well, I don't know. And then maybe I'll call it a stream as well. This is, I think, already interesting information for the M code people. I put a marker at the time where I started having these bugs. So that will be good to review as well. And this going into the eBPF weeds, why not, you know? I should, however, learn how to turn all this stuff I'm streaming into written content, because it's like impossible to find it this way. Or make like little 5-minute videos that like show actual reproducible steps. I'm not sure what it would be in this context here. I don't know what the interesting things are, so it didn't save it to a file, did it? So that would be nice from the console as well to save that. Save that to guide MD. No, to we are 525 eBPF sniff writes thorough guide.md. I should have prompted that. I knew I should have prompted it to save to a file. And there's so much cool stuff to build, but I'm gonna have someone over in for dinner, which means I have to stop hacking. I don't even know if I can do it. I don't even know if I can do it. Now it's basically just like a very expensive copy-paste operation. So, all right, so we're going to do pcp main.go makefile readme.md sniffwrites.c and then I think that's probably enough for the program, right? Because if we do go generate, what does it do here? It like BPF to go target C flags, blah, blah, sniff writes MC. Okay, so this should be good. And then we're going to take ttemp 2505 2502. And how many tokens is that? It's like 10,000 tokens for the entire thing. So we're going to actually go in here. And then I'm having trouble with output, which is cut off. Actually, also write in the ttemp directory A03 problems with our current eBPF sniff writes tool.md that describes what we are struggling with. Exhaustive as well, all the issues we had and might or might not have fixed during our session. Because now I can, like, all these things that we were struggling with, I can actually put into either deep research or just O3 per se and have it like help me understand what's going on. Man, there's like so many little things that I kind of want to have M code burn through, but I'm sure I will have to, you know, still be in the loop a little bit. It's really good at like doing a lot of stuff, but as you can see, it's like, I mean, it is impressive that I just like can't write eBPF stuff like that. This wasn't the last time I did eBPF with an LLM was 2 years ago, where obviously a lot of things were missing from the ecosystem we have these days. I wish I could see a little bit more about what's going on here, just like the streaming tokens for the tool call and then having them collapsed as after that or so, because I know it's calling the edit, the create file tool. I should actually make a zip file out of this. I know O3 doesn't like to have like all of this stuff, especially if we add like even more tokens now. Actually, I could just do this and then upload the 2 other files. Okay, so we're going to do this. Then we're going to attach some files from corporate headquarters, go labs. And then we're going to go to ttemp. I'm going to take 02 and 03. Please help us pinpoint the issues here. Oh shit, this is 04. I'm gonna switch to 03. All right. Now let's try Opus while we're at it, right? Like we have all these new toys to play with. Opus. And then we're gonna upload a file. So we're gonna go labs ttemp 0525. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. It likes sneaking in a little character just like at the end when I'm about to press enter, and it says like, 0. I'm like, no. I hate this kind of like clever, see, bam, 0. And then if I press enter, obviously because I wanted to go to the directory, it like submits an existing file. So anyway, file main.go, and then we're going to say, help us figure out our issues. And so what does this guy tell us here? So below is a concise bug map that ties each visible symptom. Invalid write to stack size 8 when make build on some kernels. Try to place a 104 struct event on a 512 byte eBPF stack in 4 different trace points. Removes the current workaround per CPU scratch map, removes the verifier error, but reintroduces race possibilities because the same slot is reused by unrelated syscalls. Keep the per CPU array, but copy it into the perf ring buffer before reusing it. Allocate a second 1 entry per CPU array, or switch to the newer BPF ring buff helper, which copies the record into the, okay, and there's a ring buff helper. Add a pre-flight check, BPF tool feature probe. Occasional permission denied when a colleague runs the binary under sudo. Add a pre-flight check and an exploratory message if the kernel lacks the needed helpers. Truncation, the struct must fit on the stack. We unpack directory filtering fails because you compare truncated version strings against the ops target gear. You then try to repair the string in Go with, but that happens after the event is filtered out. Move the path entirely to user space. Emit only the FD and a 32-bit hash of the path in the open exit handles. Keep a user space. This is nice. Clever. Clever, clever. Clever, clever, clever. Directory filter plus false negatives. Okay. This is interesting. So I guess if we edit it, we can start by just fixing this one here, right? Right, so I'm still going to continue. Actually, can I do /compact? No. That's all? There's like no... So the web UI has like more affordances, right? Paste, and I'm gonna be apply this in command experiments sniff right. I should have committed, actually. Moving on. So I'm sure this tool exists. Is there an existing tool that would help me do this? Catch writes to some files and figure out which program writes to it. Which is maybe something I would have started, but you know how I like building everything on my own. Actually, I generated courses today as well that I wanted to look into. Why do I have friends? I made myself a Redis deep dive course because I want to learn more about Redis. Redis hashes, Redis lists, sets, sorted sets, streams, pub sub, transactions, memory optimizations, and performance considerations. All right, that's cool. I wonder if like the Redis pub sub for Watermill, right? It's like a Redis stream one. But I wonder if there's like another one. Watermill Redis Z set. Redis Watermill with real pub sub. So third party. Pub subs, right? So this is, I want to see if there's like one that is like a real pub sub with like lossy semantics. Supported pub subs, third party pub subs. Yeah, this shouldn't be too bad, right? To implement. run, remove. I need to rebuild the, yeah. Look at makefile, which contains useful targets to do it all at once. Okay, so this is my turn again here. Oh, come on. This is pretty nice. This seems promising. Except that when I do this monitor -d, then it like is not doing that. But if I do it doesn't tell me the. So why is the make demo so different? Why can't I kill it? Why does this look so different than... Is it because of the debug? Oh, and the control C was because of the timeout, huh? It's because of the -v. Right, so it doesn't show the full path. So I wonder why when I do /temp, however, oh, I know, you know why? You know why? Because I'm trying to sniff something while being in that directory. And then if I'm... See, I didn't see the right. Oh, I did see the right. So the issue is more that when I'm in this directory, then obviously things go wrong. So if I, go here and do command sniff rights monitor -d sniff rights f table v o write read, and then I open, say, the readme. Okay, that's cool. And I do want to have I have the process, I have the operation and the write. So this kind of worked. Very cool. But then I actually want this to be catching only writes on files. I, per default, only catch writes on real files because I get all kinds of stuff when sniffing the directory I'm in, right? So if I sniff this on command sniff writes, do I get No, I don't get all of this crazy stuff that happens when I'm writing it here. Okay. Because I do get all of this stuff here, right? So now we probably have a tool to catch writes from to our n8n CLI tool, for example, or like our MCP server. So yeah, O3 just like definitely is very convincing, right? Like what did Opus give us? So diagnose, the user has provided, looking at the documentation, particularly the problem file, too many events, high CPU usage and potential event loss, and CPU sniff rates with weird double asterisks, which looks like a... Okay. I can see you've documented the issues thoroughly. Let me try to understand. And all right, so critical issues, syntax error. Yeah, that's not a syntax error. The fuck? Mm, add a solution that adds in kernel filtering. Skeptical. Yeah, I think O3 wins that round. I mean, yeah, so audit control would be pretty useful. Survives reboot once the rule is in etc audit rules. Near zero runtime overhead, but the JSON-ish logs can be verbose and need parsing. Sysdig, spy file. So I could have done that, right? Sysdig, BPF trace, trace eBPF. Spy file looks interesting, huh? Sysdig plus spy file chisel. All of that just to get to an n8n MCP because I'm too lazy to click on shit. It's all worth it, guys. It's all worth it. SCP file. SCAP module is loaded. How do I load the SCAP module? I'm on 6.8. Still working here? What are you doing? I'm going to look at what you're doing, my friend. Because I have a tool now. Right? If I go into sniff rates and do make build, I should be able to see it. So these lost samples, I'm not sure I want to see them. Compile, go, read, write to the temporary files. Yeah, so this is because I think M code is stuck. But we should see it acting here, right? As it goes on. It says 0% now, but we saw it like right? If we see node, we see node going. We see it compiling. What is it doing now? Okay, perfect. Let's create a quick test to verify that it applied. I also want don't show the lost XXX samples per default. What do they mean anyway? And then it's the end of the stream. I think after that, this was a cool result. This will allow us to debug potential cursor, M code, whatever the fuck's going on issues as we continue. Actually, I do want to test this once out because I can apparently reproduce it pretty easily if I go back to that one thread where it was like confused. So nice, we can see all of this stuff here. Right, and so if we run this, so it still outputs it because I am in the verbose mode, right? Okay, cool. So this is touch readme. I don't see that. Echo blah test txt. Why not? Okay. Okay, cool. So anything we need to add here? No, we can remove this. Okay, so now what we can do is update 02. No, 2025050203 with the stuff you did to fix it in details. So I like these things because it allows me to basically, when I go back and I'll be like, what did I do on this day with this git commit? I'll see all the intermediate files that I used to prompt the LLM. And because they're also like guides that explain what the LLM did, and I kind of like write down and save these, like that's the issues we ran into, which not only help the LLM, right? Like it's part of the prompts that I reuse, but they're also like directly useful to me. So they're kind of like, I'm pair programming with this LLM, except I'm not looking at really at what they're doing. I'm staying at this like co-pilot level, while this person actually has the knowledge and the typing to do most of the things, right? But I do still like kind of keep track of the whole session, documenting things, right? Like making sure the little imperfect things are handled. And these documents, which I used to look at the Gemini stack traces while I was doing this, which, you know, I miss kind of here. But this is like I don't often go back and read this stuff, but sometimes I do, or sometimes I just like generate like courses out of it so that I can, which I then print out. And then I take these courses to breakfast where I go to the coffee shop and I just read them and then I learn. I just add tools to my arsenal. It's not like I'm going to become like an eBPF expert, but I will kind of like, because I spent a whole like session just dealing a little bit with it, but then the next day in a different environment, in a different setting where I have time in the morning to like enjoy my reading and be a little bit more in depth about it instead of being like caught into, I actually want to do something else. This really just like expands my tool set, right? It's like it's the same reason I have like 80 million books that I haven't read or have read the intro and the table of contents or like maybe browsed through, skimmed through, is that it's not because I want to have all the knowledge that's in these books in my head. It's more like I do now when I need to see it. I have BPF issues today, so I do know where to look for if I were to look more deeply, right? Because even though I haven't really read that book, even though I haven't like really read these books in depth, I know they exist, and I probably like the BPF tool book I actually used for reference. They're not like pleasant books to even like, they're not pleasant books to read. Like they're like fucking horrible. But they're really, really useful to know that they exist and that they're there. And then especially if like tomorrow I print out this eBPF course, which I'm actually going to generate while we're at it. So let me finish adding the stuff we need. So now I'm going to say like, okay, sparkles working, sniff writes. What I'm actually going to do now is like go build this into local bin sniff writes dot. And then if I start doing my n, I'm going to open cursor again and see if I can reproduce this bug now that I have a debugging tool, right? So I'm in experiments, and then I should have n8n CLI in here. Do I have that? Or is that here? Okay, so now I can do sudo sniff writes -d n8n CLI. Command not found because it's in local bin. Sniff writes monitor. And then what was the format? Monitor. Do I really need to output all of these things, all the flags that I had? So D F table O write read. Okay, so now we're going to see if I go back to this like one problematic amp that I had, which wasn't this one but the one before. Extend NL n8n, and this is where I was like going off base, right? Gonna see what it does here. So we can see RG did some reads. And then I wonder if it's going to fail. Like, please fail. I do want to figure this one out. When you start writing CLI, so cursor opened it, right? And then go PLS. The only one that writes it was cursor. Cursor did a write, so I wonder if that's like the AMP code, right? And so this seems to be the AMP code, right? Oh, shit. And is it running into issues? Yeah. Like, I wonder if these things are getting applied or not, or if something changes underneath. Yeah, I wonder if I'll be able to reproduce this. But the thing is, this is... VS Code Postgres. So client process CID. Where's the AMP node? Do we have an AMP node? This is this guy here, right? So it's hard going to be able to tell which part of cursor is doing the writing. Because now I can't reproduce it, right? Because I've been like writing code since then. So if we look at like line 58, it was able to add this tool here for critical debugging output directly here. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen, right? Like if I write here, I see its cursor, but it's a different PID. This one is the interesting one. So I'm not sure what is going on, because now I cannot reproduce it. It's interesting to see that AMP code reloads this, apparently, if this is like the AMP code thread even. But, you know, I was worried that I would see like GoPLS reformatting things. So I'm not seeing that, right? If I do, I'm not seeing GoPLS do anything. I just see this is the main thing. So I wonder if, yeah, can we add a flag to log the content that is being written? How would that be sent over from eBPF if we have such limited memory? It's funny, it calls like RG immediately. See, maybe I should be a little bit more careful here, and I should do experiments to see this guy working and see if cursor like starts to fuck with it on the side. We're seeing just node right to it. Man, this is a nice tool. I'm glad I spent the time summoning it into existence. I wonder what that RG is. Like, it would be nice to see the different parent programs that call this. So we do have cutoff path still. So I only want to see the writes now, I think. Yeah, this is nice, man. I like this. I like this little tool here. This is actually implementing all this change, right? Like it's not just answering my questions, actually going full steam ahead. Adding content logging faces several eBPF limitations. I'm going to ask the same question of O3 just because I'm curious. And yeah, you can tell why I never get shit done. That's why I never get shit done. Holy shit, I'm already streaming for like 4 hours. Amazing. I still feel fresh as a fish. All right, yes. It's pretty amazing that Claude is able to write code like this that actually kind of works, because this is like tricky shit, right? Like it's like some weird ass APIs that are probably not super common in the training corpus. I didn't really provide any guide at the beginning. So we can see here the writes are coming from Clang and from BPF Go and all of those. All right, let's try the capture thing. We do a make demo, and then we start echo blah temp test txt. Oh, this needs a sudo. Come on, man. Sudo ls. All right, make demo. Make demo. Open write. All right, can't make file. What's the demo code here? Make demo. Go run dot monitor dtemp. All right. Go run dot sudo. Why doesn't it show up? Okay, so how do I test it? Yeah, but how do I see the content rights? How do I see the written content now? What should have changed? Oh wait, so this is all it did. Capture content is stuff that it added, but it doesn't have that as a flag, right? Oh, it does have capture content. It just like wasn't showing it in here. Oh, because it elided the lines. Okay, cool. So I need to do this. Capture content. Does it only show up in JSON? Oh yeah, okay. Show the captured content in table view as well, right? Or if I do it in plain, oh yeah, maybe I don't need it in the, so actually, yeah, I should stop. I was thinking of like adding seek as a syscall to watch, but you know, I really should stop here. Add write capture. I'm still gonna ask O3 though. Okay, what about capturing seek calls? Because, and then I'm gonna make a course out of this. All right, I don't remember where we got left with our MCP here because I ran into these bugs and wanted to debug that, but we'll continue with that maybe tomorrow. All right, so here it's writing more about the seek stuff, and then I'm going to turn on deep research. And I'm going to say, make a full course about eBPF to teach me how this has all been implemented and built from the lower fundamentals. I haven't done Linux kernel programming in a while and forgot all about eBPF in particular, and probably don't know many of the new advancements. I'm a senior embedded engineer. Make it thorough and in depth with many exercises, step by step, from simpler to challenging. All right. Tracing. Go, but broader exposure is okay too. 3, all. Ubuntu. What version do I have? All right. All right, cool. That was a stream. Hope you learned a little bit something, and I'm glad that I've got like a debugging thing that I could use to next time cursor starts to misbehave with M code. I'll be able to provide more info.